Dirt bikes don't care about your ego, and the ground's always harder than you think. Here's what you learn after enough laps, crashes, and garage nights that separate hobbyists from actual riders. You're not fast until you're smooth. Beginners pin it everywhere and wonder why they're slow. Speed comes from rhythm, not just throttle. Every input costs energy. Hard braking scrubs speed. Choppy throttle breaks traction. Death gripping the bars burns your forearms in 2 laps. Fast guys float through sections because they're efficient. Braking once instead of 3 times. Rolling speed through corners instead of stabbing the throttle mid-turn. Smooth is fast because the bike stays settled, tires stay loaded, and suspension works in its range instead of packing or kicking. If you're tired after 3 laps, you're fighting the bike. The clutch is your traction control. One-finger clutch drag isn't just for trials, guys. It's how you manage rear wheel spin in loam, sand, or off cambers. When the rear brake's loose, feathering the clutch modulates power delivery faster than rolling off the throttle, keeping forward drive without upsetting chassis balance. In corners, slipping the clutch lets you hold higher RPM in the power band while controlling wheel spin, critical on 250 Fs, and 2 strokes where the hit comes on hard. If you're not touching the clutch mid-corner or on jump faces, you're leaving traction and control on the table. Suspension setup matters more than horsepower. A dialed bike with 10 less ponies will smoke a missile on blown suspension every time. Sag is the foundation. 105 to 110 millimeters rear, 95 to 100 millimeters front for most riders, measured with gear on, bike vertical, rider standing attack position. Too much sag and the bike rides low, wallows, and blows through travel. Too little, and it rides high, harsh, and kicks. Clickers are next. Rebound controls how fast the suspension returns after compression. Too slow, and it packs, loses travel. Too fast, and it kicks. Compression controls how fast it compresses. Too soft, and it dives bottoms. Too stiff, and it rides harsh and deflects. Start at baseline settings from your manual. Adjust 2 clicks at a time. Test 1 change per session. Most guys ride suspension too stiff because they confuse harshness with support. Body position controls the bike, not the bars. The bike goes where your hips go. Your weight placement dictates front/rear traction split, steering response, and suspension balance. Standing attack position, balls of your feet on pegs, elbows up, chest over the bars, hips back enough to weight the rear. Weight too far back and the front washes, too far forward and the rear breaks loose, or you loop out. In corners, outside elbow up, inside knee gripping the tank, hips driving the bike down into the berm. The bike carves because your body mass is committing it, not because you're yanking the bars. On jump faces, hips back, head forward, absorbing with your legs. Landing with weight too far forward loads the front and sends you over. Too far back, and you slap flat or nose dive. The bike's a tool, your body's the input. Brake bias is everything. Front brake is 70 to 80% of your stopping power because weight transfers forward under deceleration, loading the front tire and unloading the rear. If you're locking the rear and barely touching the front, you're braking slow and standing the bike up in corners. 1 or 2 finger front brake, modulate pressure, squeeze, don't grab. The front can handle massive load once the suspension compresses and weight shifts, but grabbing it cold will tuck. Rear brake is for balance and rear end control. Dragging it mid-air levels the bike, touching it in corners tightens your line, and tapping it off jumps brings the nose down. If you don't use the rear brake in the air, you're at the bike's mercy instead of adjusting pitch. You will crash, so learn to crash. Guys who tense up and brace get hurt. Broken wrists, collarbones, separated shoulders. When it's going wrong, commit. Let go of the bars, tuck your arms, roll with it. Your body can tumble. Your locked out arm can't absorb impact. Low sides and corners, slide with the bike, don't fight it. High sides, you're already airborne, so relax and try to land on your back/side, not your shoulder or head. Looping out, push the bike away and bail backward. The bike's replaceable. Practice falling on a trampoline or in sand. Sounds dumb, but knowing how to roll without bracing becomes instinct. Jetting and air/fuel ratios don't lie. 2 strokes need jetting for altitude, temp, and humidity. Lean and it melts pistons, rich and it loads up and won't rev. Main jet controls wide open throttle. Needle jet controls mid-range. Pilot jet controls idle to quarter throttle. Baseline, sea level, 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit is your manual spec. Plug chops tell the truth. Chocolate brown is perfect. White or gray is danger zone. Black and sooty is rich. 4 strokes run EFI or carbs. EFI adjusts automatically, but maps can be wrong for your exhaust or altitude. Carbs need jetting just like 2 strokes. If your bike bogs, stutters, or detonates, it's air/fuel, not bad luck. Tire pressure is setup, not maintenance. Most riders run too much pressure because they're scared of pinch flats, but overinflated tires slide, deflect, and make the bike feel harsh. Start at 12 to 13 psi rear, 13 to 14 psi front for MX, drop to 10 to 11 psi rear, 11 to 12 psi front for woods or sand. Lower pressure increases contact patch and traction but raises pinch flat risk. Balance it with riding style and terrain. Tires also load differently based on your weight. Heavier riders can run a pound or two more, lighter riders can drop a pound. Check pressure cold before riding. Heat from riding raises pressure 1 to 2 psi, which is normal. If your bike feels skatey or kicks sideways, try dropping a pound before changing suspension. Your bike needs more maintenance than you're doing. Air filter clogs with dirt and chokes airflow, leaning out your jetting and killing power. Clean it after every ride in dusty conditions, every other ride otherwise. Oil it properly. Too much oil and dirt sticks, too little and dust passes through. Oil changes every 5 to 10 hours on 4 strokes because combustion contaminates oil fast at high RPM and load. Cheap oil is expensive when you're splitting cases. Chain slack should be 45 to 50 millimeters measured mid-swing arm with the bike on a stand. Grease linkage bearings every 20 hours or they seize, making the suspension harsh and unresponsive. Neglect kills bikes faster than riding hard. Riding harder doesn't make you faster. Seat time makes you faster. Hammering the same sections at 100% every lap builds bad habits, tires you out, and sends you over the bars when you overshoot. Fast guys do 70 to 80% most of the time. Drilling technique. Same braking point, same line, same body position, lap after lap until it's automatic. Then they push. If you can't ride a track or trail at 70% with perfect form, you won't be smooth at 90%. Drill fundamentals separately. Spend a session only on corner entry, another session only on jump faces and landing balance, another on whoops. When you go race pace, your body executes automatically because the technique's ingrained. Fitness matters, but skill comes first. A fit beginner still rides like a beginner. The best riders respect the bike and the dirt. Whiskey throttle, target fixation, and panic braking kill more riders than anything mechanical. If you're not in control, back off. The bike amplifies your input, smooth or sloppy, confident or panicked. The dirt's the same for everyone, but how you read it changes everything. Hard pack versus loam, ruts versus flat corners, soft sand versus blue groove. Respect means knowing your limits, maintaining your equipment, and learning from mistakes instead of repeating them. The track doesn't care if you're having a bad day. You show up prepared or you get humbled. Now tell us which topic you want to see next in the comments section. We'll read every comment and maybe transform your idea into a video.